All right, first things first, get up in the morning. I let them out of the cage, take them out through the front door or the back door, it doesn't matter. And I let them out until they both go. Usually they both poop. You could let them out in the backyard also if you wanted to. Either way, that's fine. Once they come back in, get their breakfast going here. This is Amelia's bowl right here. They both use the exact same food. I only fill up Amelia's bowl with one heaping cup. All right, so a little bit overflowing. Fill it up. Again, they both use the same food. They used to use different food in the past. They don't any longer. All right. So now we got Amelia's bowl full, and this is going to be used for both of them. Next step, we keep their canned food in the fridge in a bag. There's the can, and then there's two of these little tiny bowls. One of them is going to be a cover, and one of them we're going to put the food in to heat. I'll show you how that works. All right. Get a fork. I like to shake this a little bit. This has already been partially used. So we're going to take about, let's just say, 2 good chunkfuls. As you can see, right about this much here. It's probably almost, maybe half full. Try to get a little bit of the juice. All right, this is going to act as your lid so it doesn't splatter in the microwave. It goes into the microwave. I do it for 23 seconds for that amount of food. That's pretty much it. And then what I like to do is I like to drain the juice into here, because we don't give Amelia as much of this canned food as we do Tucker. And this is somewhat warm. It's not hot. It's somewhat warm. I don't want it overheated. They don't want it hot. So basically, I'm just dumping all the juice into the food here, because this is mainly what Amelia is going to eat, with some tiny chunks. And by the way, Tucker is the hard one to feed here, and this is why we have to go through all of these gyrations, because he's just so difficult. Amelia will just eat anything, but that's her problem, and she's overweight, and that's why we try not to give her as much of this canned food as possible. We just want her to get the flavor as much as possible. I mix in all this juice. Again, I know this is overkill, but this is kind of what they're used to, right? Okay, so Tucker, because he's so picky, he gets pretty much that chunk there, the better portion of it. Amelia gets a tiny bit of this. Sorry, I'm making a mess here, but this is pretty much how it should look. You could even give her a teensy bit more. But when I was mixing the food like this, he wasn't eating it, and I think it has to do, when I was doing this for Tucker, a lot of times he wouldn't eat it. He'd try to pick through and get the chicken, but he couldn't. I think it might have something to do with his teeth. So now, as of late, I've separated the dry from the canned, and this is about how much he gets in dry food right there. So he gets a half and half mix of the canned and the dry food, and he goes for this first usually, and then he'll finish this up, and then sometimes he won't even eat it all. Especially if we're gone, you may have to coax him to eat. If we're gone, he barely eats. He's anxious, he's nervous. Anyways, this is what the two look like. This is about how much you get. For Amelia, it's about the quantity of chicken to dry food, and that's about what you're getting for Tucker right there. All right, so then just basically take the food. This is the same exact routine every morning. Like to keep them on this routine. She goes right for the food, as you can see, and he does not. All right, so there he is. He just looks at the food, whatever. Sometimes when I turn this sink on to clean his bowls, he'll go for the food. Today he's not. All right, so then we just basically clean these up. Clean the one up anyways. And that's pretty much it as far as food is concerned. Again, I like to keep them pretty consistent and on the same routine. Again, I don't know that he's going to eat when we're gone. You may want to try coaxing him to eat, for example. And I'll show you in a minute. Usually I give him a piece of chicken, and sometimes that works. Hang on a minute. Get that cleaned up, get this dried out, and then this just goes back in the refrigerator. And this is probably the last. It's probably got one more use in there. And then if you want to get a new can, before, they don't have to be refrigerated unless they're opened. Here's where we keep the other cans. We got a few of them back here. There's 4 more left. Again, when you first open these, you don't even have to microwave it. It's already room temperature. You can just give it to them. But then after you've opened it, you do have to refrigerate it. All right, so there he goes. He looks like he's going for the food. Sometimes the way to coax him is basically give him a piece of chicken to get him started. All right, and then he may jump on board. There you go. Let's see if he goes for it. So Amelia drinks a lot of water, and at night, from the time I get home to the time she goes to bed, she'll be drinking a lot of water, and she needs to be let out more frequently after 6 p.m., especially if she gets a bone. After she eats a bone, she's really chucking down water, and you have to kind of monitor her water because she needs to go out immediately, and sometimes she can't hold it. So we let her out probably 3 times a night, especially after bones, and if we've watched her drinking a lot of water. Now, as far as going to bed, all you have to do is say go to bed. They'll go into the cage and they expect a piece of cheese. And I'll show you where that is. But usually, again, as with all dogs, you let them out just before going to bed. Tucker's on the right side, Amelia's on the left side. Close it. And what we like to do is we like to cover the entire cage, the entire front and sides of the cage, like that, and put them to bed. Now, when you get them in to go to bed, you close the cages. Then you want to give them a piece of cheese. That's usually what we do. Again, this is part of the routine. They're accustomed to it. They'll go to bed very easily for you. And when I say a piece of cheese, not an entire piece of cheese, but like I'll give Amelia a slab like that, and then Tucker will get basically the same size, or less actually, about like that for each of them, right? And that's pretty much it there. You can give them any of these cheeses that are hole like that, that's fine. Yeah, so you can see he already ate all the chicken, right? But he will be back later for this food to get this the dry food. So until then, I'll usually put the bowl up because otherwise Amelia will eat it. So since he ate all his chicken, I can put the bowl up and then I'll put it down later when I'm around to watch and to make sure. So they've already gone out once. First thing in the morning before eating, you let them out, and then I take them out a second time right after they're finished eating. So because again, sometimes Tucker, he needs to go to the bathroom in order to eat again. Amelia generally doesn't. She's usually fine after she goes poop and pee outside the first time, but she'll go out a second time and she'll pee. But I do take them out 2 times in the morning before and after they eat. This pink leash is Amelia. This is her leash, and this black or blue one is his. They both have Apple AirTags on them in the event that they get lost. We'll be able to find their location. So we do have, they are both equipped with Apple AirTags. What else can I say? Neither of them are allowed on this couch here. So they do not get on this couch here at all. They can get on that couch if they want. They usually get a bone, a couple of bones at night. I know that it's very specific who gets which bone, and I am not sure because I am not the bone lady. The bone lady is the one that hands these out. So we'll have to ask her. Maybe you can text her later. As far as water's concerned, we'll make sure that that's filled up. And you won't have to fill it at all, so you don't even have to worry about that. And I think that is about it. Now lately, since we had our rugs cleaned, we have been putting Tucker in his cage after he goes out the second time. He eats his food, goes out. We have been putting him in the cage from about 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So he doesn't pee all over the house, and that's been the routine lately. So Amelia can stay out all day. She's fine. She doesn't do anything in the house, but he generally has to go in the cage, close the cage, and he's fine with it. And then the next time you come back, you can let him out, because otherwise he has just destroyed all of our carpets and everything. So I keep him in the cage after he's gone out and eaten the second time in the morning. And then when you come back, if you're back at 1, 2 o'clock, let them out of the cage, goes to the bathroom, no more food. They don't eat food at night, generally, unless one of them is pawing at the bowl, then a little dry food only. Tucker will finish eating this at night if you put it down for him. So he does actually finish this, but it takes him the entire day, usually. Where else? The bag of dog food is right there in case you need to fill it up. The cup is in there, and that's pretty much it. And then the cans are right here, and even the bones are right here. Like I said, one of them gets a certain bone, and I don't know who gets what. Other than that, I think that is about it. When you take them outside, I know that it takes a minimum of 15 minutes of standing outside for them to go to the bathroom. So keep that in mind, that you need to be out there for a little bit in order for them to go poop. If you're in and out in 5 minutes and you think that they're not doing anything, they're not going to go, and Tucker will eventually go in the house. So you have to stay out there for the first time, at least 10 to 15 minutes in order for them to go. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, give us a call back. Text us, whatever, we're available wherever we're at. And we'd rather you text or call and ask questions than not. Thanks.